Morning. Good morning. How are you guys doing? I hope it's going well. Let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into this. Let's go to this overlay over here. Let's close that thing. And let's just check, is everything working? It seems like Twitch is working. Hello. Yeah, a slight delay, but it's fine. YouTube seems to be not complaining too much either. Okay, cool. Let's see, what do we have planned for today, or what is our objective for today? So, I am really hoping to get the boss enemy going, right? So, this guy needs quite a lot of stuff to happen to him. We need, the mesh is kind of in there already, but yeah, we'll add it to a proper character. We need animations, we need all the controllers. Then I have to start coding a bunch of stuff just to make him feel smart. I say AI here, but obviously it's just going to be me coding and behavior, right? But it needs to feel like he's a bit more clever than some of the other characters, right? I want him to feel like a real challenge. I also maybe want him to do multiple things, like, you know, bosses typically do. So, for instance, I'm thinking about... So, first of all, his primary weapon, I'm thinking of making that a big hammer. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that might change, but for now it's a big hammer. And I want him to have a crossbow as well, as a secondary weapon. And I want him to be able to switch between the two and, you know, use whichever he prefers at that moment. So, that's going to be interesting. Still waking up here. Okay, so but we hopefully can get to that. Well, if we can get him to do something today, that would be amazing. So let's see if we can make it happen. So let's go into this time tracker thing. Let's add a new one and say the boss Crocodile. Give this a vague name because, you know, what am I going to do? I'm going to implement him. Okay, that would be the Chicken Knight dev. This will be a task with multiple time entries. And we just start it off. There we go. Okay, so my time is now being tracked, which means I haven't forgotten. Okay, so let's jump into it. Let's see where we can go from here. So this is obviously, as you can imagine, quite a bit of work. The one thing we have already kind of done. So we already have the crocodile enemy mesh. Right, so he's here and he works, sort of. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, I think everything there is fine. Yes, like it. I need to think now. Where do we even start? This making a boss is going to be quite a challenge. So let's start with prefabs. We have this enemy folder. We have a base enemy prefab. I mean, it does nothing, right? Yeah, I'm not even sure why I have this base enemy prefab in the beginning to start with. Okay, well, let's just create a prefab variant of this. And we'll call this I don't just want to call it boss. I want to be a little bit more boss enemy 1. These are going to be more, I think they're going to be more unique, right? So I don't just want generic sounding names necessarily. We call it boss enemy Croc, right? I mean, I can call it Crocodile boss, I guess. Crocodile boss enemy. A CBE. Yeah, let's call it a Crocodile boss enemy. Why not? Okay, we open this guy up and it's absolutely empty. So the first thing we need to do is get to the characters over here, get the mesh in. Where's the mesh? Crocodile 1. Slap him in there. Okay, okay, there we go. Just thinking about it a bit. Okay, so he exists now as a prefab. Now we need to do a lot of things. The first thing is I don't really like making my prefabs in the void. So let's put him inside the level, roughly over there, so we can check him out a little bit. Why is this thing so slow now today? My camera movement is terrible. Okay, we can see he's roughly the same size as the chicken. That doesn't feel very boss-like, does it? Okay, so let's see. We'll open the prefab because we don't want to. Okay, this thing is still in debug mode. Let's just take it into normal mode. So that scale is just 1. Yes, like it. The scale of all these things is, yeah, okay, that's weird. Okay, well. Oh, he's half scale there. Okay, let's change that. Let's make his scale 1. Yeah. That is quite a big enemy. Is that reasonable? Guess he's a boss, right? He's not just a crocodile. He's the boss crocodile. Well, it's pretty straightforward to make him smaller. So I'm just going to keep it like that. Okay, let's just see if this collider looks fine. It doesn't. Okay, so we want to make this thing go taller. I don't know why the collider is so small, but anyway. And the radius should be quite a bit bigger. Okay, so it's 3 high. Yeah, that's more or less okay, right? It's a bit overlapping there, too small there, that's okay. The height is 6. Okay, so 6 and 3. So now it's perfect. Okay, we'll work with that. Okay, next up. We need to give it an animator controller and we need to go get animations, I think. That's the next thing. Okay, so the animations. They normally come from our is this explosive LLC pack that I got here. Okay, so let's see, which ones do we have? We have a few that might work, but I want I'm thinking about the crossbow and the hammer. Okay, so let's go into our Windows assets. Let's see if we can find the crossbow warrior and the Hammer warrior. Okay, then we have a two-handed warrior. Maybe not that one. Hammer warrior and crossbow warrior. There we go. Hammer warrior is in project. Oh, there he is. Huh. I didn't even see him there, but there he is. Yeah, but let's just download both. Now, I've never done this precisely, so it's going to be interesting to blend these two together. Okay, and let's just see, what are we importing? So, the controller and the animations, yeah, I might need those. Upper body mask. Yeah, we'll take that one because we might need it as well. Okay, characters. You know what? I'll keep that material. Prefab scene. I don't need the scenes. I don't need this setup input stuff. Make sure there's nothing else randomly selected here. Yeah, there is. Yeah, I don't need the super character controller. No. Don't need this either. Yeah, okay. That's it. That's all I really need. I might have a few extra things in here that I don't necessarily need and I might not use, but it's fine. It is okay. Animation as import warnings. I'm just gonna assume that's fine. Okay, so let's see. So we actually had the Hammer Warrior. Okay, now we need to check which attacks we want, I would say. Actually, if it looks like that, we probably have the prefab. Prefab Hammer Warrior, yeah. Okay, why are you this color, my man? What happened to your life? Okay, but we can at least check all the animations. It looks a bit shit, but that's fine. Okay, so this is the one. Okay. Okay, that's a cool one. I think we need at least that one. Yeah, I like all of these attacks, right? I think the Crocodile should do all three. Block. That's interesting. A dash. I don't think we're going to do a dash necessarily. We'll do an idle. Okay, so we'll do all three attacks. Idle. Idle sheathed maybe as well. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is he starts off without his weapon. Now, obviously, it wasn't hidden now. But we start off without the weapon. Then we take it out. And then we fight. Right, so I want it to be a little bit more cinematically experienced, right? It's not just appear. What does jump attack look like? Oh, no, jeez, that's weird. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I don't want that to do anything. Move attack, let's see. That's interesting. We could have him do that, I guess. Okay, run. We definitely need that. What's his special attack do? That's like a level up or a heat or something weird. Okay, walk. she's... Wap. Nope. Yes, we're going to use so many of these. Weapon sheath. Okay, we might want to do that. It seems like I'm going to be using a lot of these animations. It really does. I wonder if I should make him the same I make the other characters that he could. I'm just thinking about his attacks. Yeah, these animators are also quite nice. Right. Moving true, blocking false. If you look at the parameters, there's actually not many parameters, to be honest. Well, you know, why am I clicking in weird places? We just have a base layer parameters. Let's see. So we have a trigger. This trigger, I suppose, it's for attacks. Interestingly, though, nothing goes to the attack. Might be in movement, targeting. Okay, it's just that blend walking thing that it does. Yeah, I think I'm gonna build my own thing because I'll use this obviously as a reference. Attack 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is also kind of hard to do the combo thing. Can be done. Yeah, I need trigger numbers and stuff like that. Okay. Okay, but that's fine. So let's go to animations and let's just copy all of these. Okay, so we want in animations, we want the create folder, and this will be the crocodile boss enemy. Okay, so let's go get the animations for the hammer warrior. Okay, so I'm gonna let me copy all of them, right? Because I'm gonna use so many of these. I just don't know which yet, right? It's not like the other enemies where I kind of had an idea from the start. Because I didn't want them to do, you know, so many things. Just in the beginning, right? Oh well. Okay, so now what we need to do... Okay, so I like these ones, the _S. Because what they do is they don't move, right? What does solo mean? Okay, _S. And the normal one? Yeah, he moves forward. Which is not necessarily bad. No, it might actually be bad. I'm just thinking, so the movement forward, it's only going to be, if you look at the way I structure this, right? It's only going to move forward this part and not the boss enemy part, right? So just the mesh part. And that would be kind of weird because it should be moving this. The whole thing. Not just this thing. And I don't want to change my structure. I don't want to use this as the actual character. This is just the visual of the character. So it does a couple of things like animations. But when this thing moves, it's going to move. Yeah, it's going to move the whole crocodile. Right, so let's see. Attack. Is there some way to see? Motion transform. Okay, can't see. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go through these and duplicate the animations because I want them to be editable, and while they're in an FBX like this, you can't edit them. Okay, so we just go down and we Control D. Right, and we just continue doing this. I guess we can only do the ones we want, right? Yeah. So let's not do the ones we don't want. Which I've already done. Okay, so just these ones. Oh, I know what solo means. It wasn't part of the chain, right? Yeah, okay, so you can either do them solo or you can do them as part of the attack chain, his 3 attack combo. That's what it is, yeah. Okay, so let's just do that. Okay, that might be cool. So I don't necessarily need to do a 3 attack combo. I might just do the attacks themselves, right? Okay, I like that idea. Oh, okay, that one came with a name. Okay, block, break. I don't think I need to use that. I mean, do I want him to block? Nah. No, I don't think so. He's not gonna hide. He's gonna be very aggressive. Okay, let's see the dash forward is gap closed, right? That could be kind of cool. Yeah. Okay, let's make the dash forward. Okay. Dash left, right. Nah, that's fine. No, don't worry. Not gonna worry about that. Idle animations with and without the hammer. Think so. Okay, jump attack, no. Move attack, let's see. I think I want this one potentially. Oh, nice. Why are you rotated now? What is happening here? Okay, that's a bit weird. Just check the other one. Is this one weird? No. Yeah, that's strange. Okay, let's take the move attack just in case we might use it. Range attack. No, I think I want him to take out the crossbow. Okay, you should run. You should maybe walk as well. We'll see about that. And all of these walking, I'm not too sure yet. I'm not too sure yet. We could do weapon sheath and unsheath. Right. Okay, so that that would be all the basic animations that we need to start with, right? With the hammer. Now I still have these, so just to clean this up. The way I do it this way because it's very easy to just duplicate out of these prefabs. Or FBXs, I don't even know what these are. Yeah, the FBX files. If I duplicate out of them, it just creates a copy right there and it's an animation file. Which is what I want, right? So we can just delete them, and if I ever need to, I can go get them from down below where I got them originally, right? Okay. Now you see, I didn't do this with the knight, which is kind of bad. But I've been doing it for the other ones, right? Like the ranger. Okay. Need to create an animation controller. So let's do that. Create animation controller. We'll say this is the Crocodile boss. Crocodile boss animation controller. And what we can actually do is we can already attach that over there. Yeah, so now we already have an animation controller. If we open it up, there's exactly nothing in here. Very good, very good. So I know at least we want a substate here. Okay. Let's just delete that one quickly. Well, actually, should we do a state machine or just a... Nah, let's do idle sheath first, right? So we pull this one in. This is going to be the very first animation he has, right? So with every encounter, he will start off just idling without a weapon pulled, right? Then, so I'm just thinking about how I want to animate this, you know, the kind of the process. So then it'll go into weapon sheathed, and then it'll idle with. So this would be the normal idle state, right? So we'll do this. So in game, so I'm thinking you're encountering the enemy. He's just standing there without his weapon. Then he takes out his weapon, says something snarky, and then he's in his idle, and this is now idling with holding a weapon, right? Now, from here, we should create a substate machine for attack, right? Because there's multiple attacks. Okay, so we have an attack substate machine. And then here we want to have potentially, okay, well, attack 1, attack 2, attack 3, right? So these are the ones that flow into one another, I would say. Right, so we have the combo attack, so it'll go something like that. Okay, so we'll combo 1, 2, 3. Or we could also have a solo attack 2. Or we can have a solo attack 3. Right, and the point of these would be that sometimes you get in here. Oops. What am I doing? Okay, anyway, we have our default state. Okay, so we get in here. We could either attack and then go into a combo, or we can do a second attack 2 as a solo, or we could do attack 3 as a solo. And then, you know, we can transition out of this from attack 1. So we use that as a solo attack. And we can also transition out from one of these, right? So somewhere within the attack chain. So ideally you'd go 1, 2, 3, you know, full attack chain, but it's possible that you fall out of your chain on attack 2 or attack 1. So you do that instead. Okay. So this looks fine for the attack state. Okay. What did I do here? I set as default state. Oh, that's what I did. That's why this thing... Okay. I see. Okay, so we have that default state. Now, we can enter into attack state from idle, right? That's fine. Okay, so we could enter to one of the states inside this. Okay, we don't want to do that necessarily. We just want to go to attack. Okay. Now, what else can we do from idle? Well, we could walk. And we could run. Okay, what else can we do? A dash forward? Yeah, I mean, it's possible that we do all this here. So walk, run, and dash forward. Now, we could say, look, these are movement type things, so we need to do them within, like, a substate machine-like movement. You know, and that's not a bad way to think about this. Then we can either be idle, attacking, or moving, right? So let's do that. I think that's a good idea. You need to be called... Let's just call it movement. Okay, let's see. Can I drag you in there? No. Okay, let's just get rid of them. Open this up. And we have walk, run, dash forward. Okay, and realistically, when you move, you could do either one of these. Right. That makes sense. So we could do walk, we can do run, or we can do it. We can do a dash forward. Now, what should also be able to happen is that we should also, theoretically, if you think about this, now I'm not sure if this is now the right way of doing this, but we should be able to go from walking to running, or from walking to dashing, right? And we should also be going from running to walking, from running to dashing, and then from dashing, we should then continue to run or walk. Right, so all these things should be possible within this. Right, so we enter the state into one of them, and then we can go into one of the others. Okay. And then obviously, we can exit into attacking or whatever else we want there. Okay, so then we could go from attack to idle. We can go from idle to moving, and from moving to idle. And then we can also go from moving to attacking, and from attacking to moving. Okay, interesting. Okay, we can add... Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can add conditions, right? You know, which one I didn't do is death. I didn't actually see that one out. I think about it. Animations. Oh no, here it is. Yeah, because that's now the last one we really need, if you think about it. So copy that one in there. Okay, get it out. Delete. Okay, so we could also go into a death state. And we can go there from any one of these, right? You could be idling, attacking, moving, and then dead. We actually don't want to exit, right? It's just the last state. Okay. So that should work, sort of. Well, we can do this at least is we can go into scene, click on the crocodile, and see all the animations are here now. So I can have the idle sheath animation play. Okay, we have a bit of a funkiness going on here with the feet. This is a weird idle. Okay, let's just see over here. On the layers, I think we should do that. Will that help? I think it kind of does. No. Okay, so we should go to the idle sheath animation. Put IK. That normally does help. This is not the first time. Let's look at the chicken quickly. Mr. Chicken, I'm sure you don't have this problem. Maybe it does. It's just like not that big. Or the toes might be a problem here. Okay, we'll fix. I want to fix the feet anyway a little bit. I don't like them currently. I think we should make them a little bit smaller. Okay, let's see this idle. Yeah, that's strange. Unless, okay, let's see. This thing quickly. Let's configure the rig. Let's see if this is okay. It's not in a T-pose. There might be. Okay, we have some problems here with the T. Okay, I see the problem. Look how small the bone is for the feet, but yeah, so it's standing on that part. Okay, yeah, that's the problem, definitely. And so we should just fix that. Yeah, toes. We could make this the toes, maybe that helps. So we extend it a little bit. That could help. And also, there's something wrong with his hand. Well, I think there's something wrong with his hand. Let's see, what do we have here? Thumb, 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 index, 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 muddle, muddle, muddle. And little. I mean, it looks fine. Maybe they're just too fat. That could be the case, right? It might be his hands are too chunky, so they're kind of going into one another. Let's see if this helps with the toes. Apply. Okay. Don't know what that was. Okay, let's see the idle now. Doesn't really do anything. Okay. We'll figure that out later. Okay, but now he should at least with his so let's see his attack animation. Okay, let's just go a bit slow. Let's see how he does this. He picks up his feet. This is like a jump almost. Let's see this one. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I think he does have a foot problem. Let's just go to the animator again. Okay, let's see a run. This should do something, I'm sure, but yeah. Okay. Okay, let's make him hold a hammer. Okay, so we'll put him in this pose. Let's look at his hands. And that one is doing something. Okay, I'm going into this way too much detail because, you know, at the angle we play this game, you won't even see any of this. Right, if you think about it, we're on this view. Looks fine, right? This is perfect. Yeah, look at that. You know, you can't tell that's weird, and the same with some of these attack animations. Okay, the tail is a bit of a problem. Yeah, okay. The tail is gonna be kind of a problem. Okay, but let's get him working. Might have to cut off the tail. I don't know what else I could do. That's the only solution I can think of. Get rid of the tail. Okay. What was I doing? Okay, I was trying to give him a hammer. So let's just go back into idle. Put him in this pose, more or less. And let's just pause it right there, or lock it right there. Okay, so now he shouldn't go out of that pose, hopefully. Okay, hammer. Let's just search in this visual assets folder for now. We'll make a nice hammer eventually, but yeah, for now, you know, we're just gonna find a hammer somewhere in one of our What do we want? We want a mesh or a prefab of a hammer. Okay, so we have that one. It's prop hammers, right? But it's fine. It's a hammer. Ooh, magic crystal hammer. I kind of like this one with the little sharp end. Right, that seems appropriate for this guy. There's also one in the Hammer Warrior. Or we could do the Crystal Hammer, but that seems weird. I don't like the Crystal Hammer. And there's a prefab, Atlas, non-Atlas. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's just take this one. Let's drag it in there. Tiny little hammer. Okay, we want to connect this to... okay, let's just open this up. Okay, we need to do the overrides. Apply. Okay, and then we can open up the prefab instead. Okay, we want to make this thing attached to its bone structure, specifically the right hand. I think that would be the right one, the correct one to attach this to. Okay, hand. So we stick this into the hand. Okay. Okay, let's just get you into the normal idle state. And the one with the hammer. Yeah, because one of these are going to give us a good idea of how he's holding it, right? Okay, cool. So be locked now. Okay, where's this hammer now? Okay, it's up here. Okay, first problem, this hammer is tiny. So let's... Wow. Where is it tiny though? Is this an appropriate size? Might be too big. Are these like one-handed hammers? That's kind of... I think it's a one-handed hammer. It's not like a fighting hammer. Yeah, because if I just look at... you know, if I put it in there... Yeah, that's a one-handed hammer. Maybe this one then. Okay, and let's drag this one in instead. Yo! Hey, Rustafunk Jr., how are you doing? Okay, we just made a massive hammer up here. Let's get rid of that one, because this is never going to look right. 0.03. Ah, jeez, what did I do? Nah, it's still a bit too big. What about 0.02? Yes, like it. The scaling of these things just not so great. Anyway. Ah, now he got out of his idle pose. That's cool. Some players spawn. I'm assuming you are also developing a game right now. What kind of game are you making? Is it a... Let's see. It is a multiplayer game. That's why you have to do player spawning, I guess. And it's probably a battle royale game. Did I get it exactly right? Okay, I didn't get it exactly right, hey? Yes, like it's so hard to put these things in their hands. Okay, but it is multiplayer. Yeah, that can be tricky. I have no idea how to do multiplayer. It would be kind of cool if I did, though. Because I'm thinking this game could be interesting in multiplayer. Potentially. Ah, no, I got the crocodile out of his pose again. Just go back. Right, you can imagine you can playing with your friends. One guy takes the chicken, the other guy takes the wizard, and you go beat up these frogs and lizards. Okay, Mr. Crocodile, why are you holding your pink hammer so weirdly? Let's see. You should rotate this way, and maybe a little bit this way, and this way. It looks almost like, yeah, I need to get a better hammer. Okay, this is just temporary, right? This is not going to be the hammer that he uses. But I don't have a nice hammer prop right now, so, you know. Okay, why does his hands go through his torso? Here's his leg. Not a fan of that. He's a bit aggressive with this idol. Anyway, let's see what the attack looks like. Okay, I mean that's possible, right? Attack 2. Oh, that's also not too bad. Oh, this is just attack 2 solo. Never mind. Okay, attack 3. Ooh, that's a bit high. Right. Yeah. Oh, but that's how his hands are going, though. I think. Oh, what the hell is happening here? Okay, I'm missing something with this one. Wait, how the hell does this work? Does he... Do they... Did his hammer change hands or something? Wait. Or is it supposed to? No, it looks like he takes... So he holds it with both hands. Now I'm interested. Let's go look at the other guy. Did it look like this? This looks bad. Okay, this is our base character. Attack 3. Look at that. He also hit something in the sky. I didn't realize that. It looks kind of cool if you just play it, right? But now that I see it... You're making what, RNG. Interesting. That's a, what's that? Random number generator, right? I wonder if I can make this animation look better. Ah, this is now annoying. Okay, let's see. Attack 3. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this for... So I could see which keyframe is like making it go up. But that's a lot of fiddling with this stuff. Let's say, is it the chest? That doesn't look right. Damn it, man. This run looks okay. The walks look good. It's just this attack that kind of bothers me. Just because it's so high. Like, if you think about it, I'm going to be fighting these small little characters over here, right? So he's not even close to hitting one of them. And there are just so many keyframes to select from here. Spine. I mean, changing the spine position could help. It's probably like shoulder or something like that. Neck, hand. Upper leg, shoulder. Okay, wait, here's the shoulder thing. Where's the shoulder? Okay, let's try this. Whoa! Okay, let's not do that. Oh, it would be the right shoulder, right? Because the hammer is connected to the right shoulder. That's right. Oh, you're trying to randomly spawn maps. You're trying to make some kind of a procedural generated world or something like that, eh? Where you don't place them like I did. Like I pre-placed all these manually. But you get some kind of a clever system to just basically place everything in an interesting way. Yeah, I can imagine that could be difficult. Like one of the problems I know people have is to just make things interesting, because if it's randomly generated it could be very repetitive and boring, right? Or just weird. Let's see what happens if I move this shoulder. Absolutely nothing. That's the toes. Why am I moving the toes? I wanted to move the shoulder. Okay. So this opens up to there. Okay. Your player spawns on 000. What engine are you using? Or are you one of those coders that don't need no engine? Oh, Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine 5. I have no idea how anything works in that thing. Okay, let's see. This is now kind of looking like I'm doing the right thing, yeah? Okay, wait, this doesn't look right. So now it's twisting a little bit more. So this, yes, like I'm contorting this poor. I think I need to maybe move the spine a bit as well, because just making the shoulder move is not really achieving everything I want. Huh. Well, that's hard. Which one is the spine? I need him to twist his spine. Chest. Chest twist left and right. That's changing the foot position. Which I would have guessed would help here, but it doesn't. How long have you been working on this game for? Is it a new project? Is that why you're saying you don't fully understand the engine yet? Well, I mean, I don't even fully understand Unity yet, so I completely understand. It is difficult. Could we change the arm position also? That could help, actually. Oh yeah, this could help quite a bit. So he goes, okay, he swings, down, goes a bit up, that's bad. Could we make him go a bit down? Okay, let's see, swing. Okay, then he continues, and he's up in the air again. No, go down. Go down, my guy. We can also do the shoulder a little bit. There we go. He swings some more, and he lifts up his whole arm again. Okay, something like that. And he follows through. Okay, let's zoom out and see if this animation looks like anything now. Oh, you can't even see I messed with it, right? Okay, you started at the beginning of the year. Yeah. I also started, I think, end of last year. I didn't start with this game end of last year. So end of last year, I started just doing a bunch of tutorials. So I was in tutorial land for like a couple of months. And then eventually... eventually I moved over to starting my own game. Okay, maybe this one frame here we could just move it a little bit down. That's fine. So the hands are probably not doing the right thing, but nobody's gonna notice that. Yeah, and also if you're doing it here and there, like I assume you have other stuff to do during the day or whatever, then you get home at night and you're like, ah, this seems so difficult. I'm just gonna not do it right now. Yeah, I did tutorials where you build a whole game. because I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do, like in Unity. Well, for the game specifically. So the problem was I needed a tutorial that could just at least make me familiar with the UI, to know where things are and what to look for, right? Because that was kind of my problem. It's like, okay, I need something like this, but I don't even understand the UI completely. Like, Unity and I think Unreal is the same. There are just so many flip and windows and menus and things that you can go through, and like, what is this even doing? I don't understand any of this, right? Well, I understand some of it now, but when you just get into an application like Unity or Unreal, like it is daunting just looking at the flippin' UI. If you can get a few hours a day, that's good. Like, I think the most important thing is to do it every day, honestly, because I felt that when I miss a day, that made progress slow down to a crawl. Because you miss one day, then you miss 2 days, and then on day 3 you're like, what was I even doing? I can't remember. And then you maybe even miss that day because you're like, I don't know where I was. I'm not going to go back there now and struggle with this for 2 hours. It's late. I want to go sleep, and you go sleep. Or it's like, I had a hard day. Let's just go back to, let's just go play a game. Let's get on Discord with some friends. Let's play a game. Watch this series or movie or whatever. You know how it goes. Okay, so I think I fixed this attack animation. That should hit a chicken or a ranger now. Cool. Okay, so this is still all the easy stuff, right? I haven't started with any of the difficult things. Yeah, that helps, eh? That helps if there's some people around you that actually are as excited as you are. I'm finding those type of people on Twitch, at least now. Yeah, when I was doing this before I started streaming, it was kind of, it's like, why am I even doing this? Nobody cares. But it seems like people care now, a little bit more. Okay. Let's grind this out, because now let's go to scripts over here, and we need to make a folder. Create a folder. Wait, what is this? Where did it create the folder? Okay, that's weird. Anyway, let's try that again. Create folder. Crocodile boss enemy. Okay, so Crocodile boss enemy is going to get a bunch of scripts. That's like it. There's probably 1,000 scripts that I need to make for this guy. Probably not that bad, right? It feels like there could be 1,000. Okay, so we need the animator, attack. Okay, let's start with just the animator. Create monobehavior script. Crocodile boss enemy. Let's just call it a CBE. Animator. Right, I don't want to have to type this out every single time. You love it because you love the issue because it's hard to duplicate, eh? Yeah, that's a bug that you can't reproduce. I guess that's what you mean, eh? It breaks sometimes. I don't know under what condition it breaks. When it gets bad enough, you just go and create a new Unreal project. Just start from start from scratch. Okay, let's see. We need a CBE state machine. Right, then we need something like a CBE. Okay, we just need to wait for this thing. Please thing, do your thing. CBE state machine. This would be the manager, I guess. Yeah, we need one of those. Just something that we can throw random code in. That I don't know where to put it otherwise. Okay, I'm forgetting things. Movement. Yeah, I normally do movement separately. CBE. Oh, geez, I made a typo. You need to be a CBE, but I'd already created the class, so I need to go and change that. Okay, rename to CBE, Crocodile Boss Enemy. And it won't rename because the class name is still wrong. Yeah, I don't know if love is the right word for that kind of a bug. It seems like something that will get a bit frustrating, right? What's happening here? Nah, just chill. Chill, Visual Studio. I don't need to do this. CBE state machine. Okay, which one did I bugger up? Crocodile boss enemy. Okay, so we have the animator, the manager. Yeah, so you are called CBE. Save. Yeah, that could get very frustrating, eh? If you're trying to find a bug and it just doesn't want to get found. Or you think you found it and then it just pops up somewhere else. Ooh, yeah, nah. Yeah, it's very difficult to debug if you're not familiar with the entire code base, I guess. Unless it's a very simple thing. You know, to try and to guess. Like if you just look at this, for instance, these are all the scripts I've made. So if something funny happens now, which of these is causing the problem? Especially if it's not a proper error, right? So if Unity just gives you an error, it's like, it's this one, right? If you don't get an error, like, what did you break? What did you code poorly, or where did you make the dumb mistake? Yeah, it's very difficult to know. Okay, we also want this animator events thing. I could duplicate this one. I think I'm gonna duplicate this one. Although, what am I doing? Where's Unity? Oh, there we go. Okay, the animator events thing. Okay, let's duplicate that and let's rename. I think I want to do this Crocodile boss enemy warrior animator events. Right? I'm going to open this thing and I go Crocodile boss enemy underscore warrior animator events. We get rid of the ranger part. And we just save that, right? Yeah, because it extends this namespace. which is kind of useful for the animation specifically, right? Okay, that's it. I think I got all of them. We just need to move this one into the right folder. You need to go into there. Yeah, okay, you're gonna complain now. Close you. Okay, so this bit of code is gonna have to change quite a bit, but you know, at least have a start. Movement's gonna have to. This is so much things that I need to code now. Okay, where should we start? I think, to me, the best place to start, whoopsie, is probably at movement. Right, I just want to get the crocodile to chase me around, at least, right? And then we can go from there. So first of all, crocodile chases me around. And he actually switches animations correctly, right? So he goes from movement to idle, right? So some kind of a movement, run, or whatever. From there, yeah, from there we could probably look at attack maybe or something like that. Okay, so let's get started with movement. So the first thing I am going to do, so since this is not a player controlled character, it needs to have a nav mesh agent. I think also the rigid body needs to be locked. Potentially, I can't remember if I locked that, but anyway, we need a nav mesh agent. Okay, we need a nav mesh agent, and this thing, it's a humanoid. Yeah. All the nice things. Yeah, that's fine. Quality, high quality. I don't think that's okay. Let's just look at this nav mesh agent a little bit more closely. Okay, so height. Oh no, this is obstacle avoidance. Let's switch on the gizmo. Okay, so the radius needs to be a bit bigger, right? He's quite large. Something like this. So this is the area which he doesn't want to collide with stuff. So let's make it 2 and 6. Okay. That looks fine. That should work. Okay, so there's the nav mesh. Now we need to set a target and stuff like that. Now, setting a target, actually, that's not so bad. Typically. So we need to add the movement script. Crocodile boss enemy movement. Okay. So one of the first things we need is a serialized field. Whoops. Serialized field private agent. Nav mesh agent, right? Okay, and then at start we could just say agent dot. Is it a target? I can't remember. Let's just look at some of our other enemies, because this is going to be pretty much how I do this. Range bomber enemy movement. Okay, let's see. How do we set the target again? Oh, set destination. We could just actually take this one straight. Right, it's going to be exactly the same script. Yeah, set destination, player, instance, transform position. Yeah. Okay, so he'll come to me. And that's going to be kind of terrible, because he's not going to animate at all. Right, because we didn't also change the animation. Okay. Okay, so maybe we should do a function over here. Private void void. This is called handle movement. Okay, so some kind of a handle movement function, right? So, and this can be called on update, I guess. Right, because if you think about it, every frame we should pretty much know where we're going. We could do it on fixed update, I guess. Why are these not private? At least private, right? Or protected. I think that's the other one. Okay, private void update now handles movement. So in handle movement, we should basically set the destination all the time, right? If you think about it. So every frame the character moves, so we need to get the new character position and set that as our new destination. Now, we don't have to do it every frame. We could make it a bit slower than that. And one day when I get into optimization, I might realistically have to do that, right? Because if every single one of these enemies try to go to the player every single frame or recalculate the target, it's going to be a bit rough. Okay, so let's just see what happens, right? I'm pretty sure this is okay. So let's put him over there and let's play. Okay, we can get rid of the stats. Let's take the Robin for a spin. Oh, I see. Okay. We already broke it. It's fine. So we needed to add the agent. I could do a gate component, I guess, but I don't have to do a gate component every time. Okay. So there's a rigid body and this thing has a weird collider, so we can just switch it off. We don't actually need the collider at all for the hammer, because that's not how we're going to calculate whether or not he hits you. Okay, we got rid of the errors. Okay, we get more errors. Get a lot more errors. What is he doing? Why is he attacking? Wait, is the crocodile even in the world? It seems like he is. But he's invisible. What? Okay, very broken still. Okay, so let's try and fix this. Let's see, where is he? My guy, what's happening? Why are you... Oh. That's not right. Reset. Oh, you know what? I remember now what I do additionally. Oh, wait, did I move the... Oh, that was my fault. Okay, we should also attach the animator here. Oh, the animator events. It should go here as well. Some good bugs going on here. It's because I'm trying to not copy one of the other characters and then build from there. Be kind of nice. Okay, so attack trigger zone. Okay, yeah, that's fine. He just goes into the attack. That's interesting. Wonder why he defaults to that. It's because my animator doesn't have a... Yeah, we can't hit him at all. Yeah, we can only hit the small guys. He doesn't work, but he looks menacing and he has a hammer. But yeah, he doesn't work. It doesn't work the right way. It'll be kind of interesting when this guy actually works one day. Get out of my face, lizards. Oh no, the frogs are getting gassy. I need to take out the totems. I do still enjoy just playing the game. That's a good sign, right? I believe that's a good sign. Okay, we'll fix the crocodile now. I just have to go use the restroom real quick, so I'll be right back. Let me just put up my be right back thing. Okay, see you now. I have returned. Switch that off. Okay, let's go. Let us go. Okay, so he's not working at all at the moment, right? That's what we agree is the problem right now. Okay, so we are at least going towards the player. Okay, now to get the animations to work correctly, we need to set up the state machine and the animator. Now, to start off with, I guess we could just take an animator from one of the other characters. Because it's a lot of stuff. You know, things like setting up all these parameters and stuff like that. So, okay, so let's just copy this, and then I'll go through it, and we can get rid of what we need to get rid of. Right, so in the animator, there we go. Now this way it works. So the first thing is we need the crocodile boss enemy animator. Okay. So, and I should not have done it that way. This is the wrong way of renaming things. Okay, we go rename. Crocodile boss enemy animator. Okay, there we go. That's now the class name. Okay. Okay. We should get the crocodile boss enemy state machine. I do have this, eh? I set this up. Yeah, I do. Okay, so this would be a CVE state machine. Okay, and we'll call it the CVE state machine. Okay, so we got those. Okay, so these constants, and this is kind of why I didn't want to fix all this. This will keep the same, right? So, is he idle? Yes or no? Is he running? Yes or no? Is he attacking, dead, targeting, all this? So, these parameters we have to go set up in the animator itself, but for now, we'll at least have most of them here. So, we'll just have to go and make sure the strings match, right? Okay, should we have an attack cooldown? I think so. I didn't have attack cooldowns for the small lizard enemies, for instance. But now I should have one for the boss, right? Okay, state machine player, state machine dot instance. I think we can just paste this in, right? So the state machine, we could do a serialized field. Serialize field to get the state machine in here. And then we don't have to get it on start, I don't think. Yeah. Okay. Okay, the state machine on state change. Obviously, that is not a function that exists yet for the state machine, unfortunately. But we can add it because we do. Oh, okay, wait, no, this is an event. Yeah, so if you think about it, the way the characters work versus the enemies is quite a bit different, right? So for the enemies, if you think about it, they don't have like a big player container that, you know, basically controls everything it does. It controls itself. It's got its own manager. So technically, I could connect these directly. I don't need to have events firing in the same way. Yeah, I could for instance, when the state changes, what I could do is I could just run an additional function that I could just run this function, right? How did I do this for the ranged bomber enemy, for instance? Let's not movement. So let's just see this animator. Okay, so I kept the... Yeah, okay. So I got a component in parent, which is fine. That's one way of doing it. And then I still got it like this. Okay. Yeah, this is a much more basic one, which might have been better to start off with this one. Oh well, it's fine. So we could do that. We could say over here, we can do a, well, I did it like this actually, so it's fine. I'm changing my mind all the time, right? So it's not a problem. Let's open the state machine and let's create that function, right? So there should be a public void. No, this is an event, not a function. Okay. So it'll be public event event and there, and we'll call this the on state change. We normally do events with capitals, right? Okay, so we could still add arguments and stuff like that, but now at least the animator should be happy with that. Eventually it should be happy with that. Why are you not happy with that? Are you sure? We need the event args. Okay, let's see. How did I name this for the other enemy? I'm not gonna think of everything. Okay, so it's the on state change event args. You know, let's just copy this. So this is exactly what I need, right? Yeah, and we need the states as well. So let's just copy all of that and go here. Right, this is what we need. We need an on-state change, and then we have the arguments that go in there. We have a state. It's enumerated. These are the states we have for now. Right, we're going to expand upon this because this is obviously just for the more basic enemy. Okay, but let's save it like that. Now, let's go back to animator. Are you happy now? It's not happy. Let's delete it. Okay, we could do CBE state machine. Come on. Oh. State machine dot on state change plus equals. Yeah, we can do that, I guess. And then we pretty much just do all this stuff. Yeah. We take this and we chuck it in here now. Okay, so we don't need any of this anymore because that doesn't help. Okay, so now our... Okay, we have a player state machine here still. That doesn't help at all. So we're going to use this state machine. Not the player state machine. Okay. We still need to go set up all these parameters. So let's go do that because they are driving me crazy. Okay, there's no way I'm going to remember these parameters, so let's take a snip. Gonna drag it over to this side. My second screen. Then we can open Unity and go to the animator for the crocodile, right? This is the crocodile. Yeah, parameters. Okay. So we want Boolean is idle. Okay. Then we want another Boolean is running. Okay. And another Boolean is attacking. Okay, another Boolean is dead. Targeting. Yeah, we're not going to use that one. We'll delete that one. We'll probably gain new ones, but yeah, okay. Integer. Attack number. Okay, so that would be useful for the little chain attack thing that we do. Okay, then we need a float. Velocity. I actually don't need these either. Yeah, this is not required. I'm gonna get rid of that one. Attack speed. I'm not gonna use that either. So these ones we will probably use. We might add more, but these are at least the ones we'll need. So the rest we can delete from the other guy. From our animator. So we don't need attack speed or velocity. We also don't need targeting, right? Those are not required. Okay. We have a bunch of errors here. Okay. So now we need to go. I should have started with one of the enemies because it's simpler than just add things. Okay, so idle, running, attacking, targeting we can take out. So targeting is never gonna work. Okay, velocity is never gonna be required. And targeting also can go away. Okay, so these could be required. Okay, let's just do that. Okay, dead. Targeting not required. Why is it complaining about the animator now? I'm sure it's an animator. Yeah. It totally is an animator. Oh. This is the problem. I did a rename at some point. And that broke a few things. Attack trigger is probably not a thing. Attack speed, I also don't think that's gonna be a thing, so I can take out all this. Attack trigger with the cooldown. I don't have a trigger called attack. Okay, apparently my states are also... Oh, this is the targeting state. Yeah, so we can get rid of this whole state. Okay, and the attack state, I don't know if it's called attacking or just attack. Yeah, it's just attack, right? Okay. Okay, this is obviously also not correct for the attack state. Because the attack number will come from the manager for this character, I think. Potentially. We might have a attack script specifically. Good morning, Mr. Gene. Welcome. You want to see what I'm doing? Okay. I could show you. I just need to get rid of this error. Where's the... Okay. Just need another thing like that. Okay, let it compile. Okay, so you're gonna have to excuse the crocodile, right? I'm working on him right now. I can show you what he looks like, but he is still very broken. I think he'll run around, but that's about it. Unless I... No, wait, let me just check something. Yeah, I haven't attached any of the code. Yeah, okay, so he's gonna be very broken. But that's fine. He can run around and be all derpy. Let me show you the actual game. So the rest of the enemies... Oh, no. Okay, this one's fine then. This doesn't matter. The air is a little dry, so we're going to expect a lot of lizards. So we'll take the chicken for a spin. Okay, he does his own thing. Just ignore him. I also can't damage him or anything. But the other lizards, I can get rid of them. And the frogs. Okay, so they spawn quite slowly right now, right? This is wave 1. It's not going to be that hectic. Let's pause this and boss enemy, just chill. Just chill. Just you're going to be annoying. Okay, we still have to fix the totem mesh. You can see it's a bit transparent. Okay, but the idea is you need to run to these camps. You need to get rid of these totems. They're magically enhanced or something, right? So they allow the guys to spawn infinitely. So if you kill them, you end the spawning, right? The point of this is not to have a... So you can see it's like a survivor type roguelike game. The point is not to have a wave be a certain amount of time. You can choose how long you want a wave to be. So let's say you feel like you can farm a bit, right? You want to get a lot of experience or whatever. You can stick around, right? You can fight these guys for as long as you want, because they'll only stop spawning once you get rid of the totems. The only problem with that is they also get a bit stronger, so you are incentivized to end the wave, right? And not just stick around forever. So you can't go on wave 1 and grind 1,000,000 XP. That'll be imbalanced. I guess if you're good at the game, you could probably grind a bit more, right? Yeah, let's get rid of this totem. And I can show you all the other enemies. I added the falling apart thing yesterday. It's kind of cool. The mesh just looks a bit funny. Ooh, the chicken has a hard time dealing with the frogs because they kite you. You can see that he's kiting me. Okay, got them all. Nah, thanks for that. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, because normally, I mean, all the other survivor type games, I think you just on a timer, right? You just kind of have to see how long you can, or you just kind of have to survive for 30 seconds or a couple of minutes or whatever the case might be. But I want you to make, so the idea is the final level, so wherever the boss is going to be, he's going to be very strong. And there's a very good chance that you could just die to him, right? You could just wipe out. And it's up to you to optimize the way you spend time on the previous waves so you can be strong enough to actually face him while not accidentally becoming too greedy and just dying in the process, right? This is kind of the idea. So it's a bit more strategic or tactical thinking, but I think it's going to be cool. So you can see now everybody leveled up a little bit. So the chicken obviously got the most levels because he was involved. The other guys, they were kind of just sitting on the sidelines and getting some XP from watching the fight. So we can upgrade them as well. So I already know which stats are good, and I probably need to change this a little bit in the future. So let's take the ranger for a go. I can see that there's still going to be a lot of lizards. Lizards typically are bad for the owl, right? The owl, he doesn't deal well. He doesn't really like the wizards. But the ranger has no problem dealing with the lizards. She's a pretty all-rounder, good all-rounder. What she does struggle with is destroying the totem. So you can get a little bit in trouble if you don't deal with these things early. Because at some point there might be too many enemies and you can't really get to the totem anymore. Got it. Okay. At least got one. Also, I mean, if they're running in a line like that, it's kind of easy, right? So you just lead them on a little bit. She's also very fast, like you can expect from the ranger, which is kind of nice, right? So you can kite these oaks forever. Okay, let's see. So you can see this is the little message that pops up telling you, you know what, you should maybe not spend all day here. What I also want to do is I want there to be items. So there's not going to be a shop necessarily, like in other survival games. What I want to do is items are scattered around the world, right? So in a level, you'll have items randomly placed somewhere in the level. And they're connected to the totem in some way. So if you destroy a totem before you picked up the item disappears as well. So there's also some incentive to not just straight go for the totems and clear the wave as fast as possible. So you have an incentive to maybe run around a little bit, see if you can find some of the items, and then when you did, you can then go and destroy the totems, right? That makes it so that the wave gets a bit harder, because obviously now you have way more enemies that spawned in the meantime, while you were messing around looking for, buried treasure or whatever. Okay, I'm very close to dead. I only have 30 HP. Because, this is so hard. Thanks for the follow, Mr. Gene. I appreciate that. Let's get rid of these. I want to show you the wizard still. I shouldn't die now. I want to show you the wizard. All buff. On wave 3. No, get off me. Why can't I aim? Okay, I got it. Yeah, I'm very excited, right? I think I have something kind of cool here. Let's go with damage for the ranger, because she felt a little bit underwhelming with the damage side. Obviously, like as the wave progresses, the enemies get more health. Right, so it really incentivizes you to get more damage as well. And it helps destroying the totems, because she struggles with that. Okay, we have 3 more points for the wizard. Now, I know the wizard is slow, so I'm just going to go with movement speed. And you can see now, it smells like swamp, which means the ratio of lizards to frogs kind of swing into the frog side. So we're going to have a lot of bombing frogs. And turns out, the chicken is bad. The lizard's okay. The robin is okay. The wizard is pretty amazing at dealing with frogs. There was a bomb in flight. I took 10 damage for free just there. So here's my little owl. Let's see if we can't get some frogs to mess up. I wonder how many of them are. This is now wave 3, so the waves are also harder, so there will be more already. Yeah, that's quite a lot. But you can see they kind of stand in a line, and this guy does a massive amount of AoE damage. It's just annoying with the small guys, right? It's difficult to kill them. Okay, I also shouldn't mess around too much. I have this strange behavior still where he kind of shoots just randomly after he took a shot. I think the animation kind of loops or something, and he shoots twice. So I should fix that. Okay. This is a lot of frogs. Wow, and now they're powering up. And I whiffed that last shot. I haven't even destroyed one totem yet. This is not good. Oh, jeez. Okay, let's do... What did I do? Ah, jeez. Okay, one totem down. I'm at half health. Not even half health. Less than that. Yeah, no, I'm not good at my game. Well, this game is imbalanced, clearly, right? It's not my skill level. It's the problem. What? What? Oh no, I'm at the edge of the map. You see, the problem is when they throw a bomb and I'm busy charging my fireball. Where did that one come from? Okay, they're getting their second power up. I don't think I'm gonna survive this wave. Yes, like it. This is actually difficult now. Go behind the trees. Get some bombs out of my face. 7 HP. Nah, I'm dead. Such an imbalanced game. How can people play this garbage? Well, people aren't playing this garbage yet. I'm the only one playing it. Gonna go leave a review on Steam. Incredibly imbalanced. The frogs are overpowered. I get overwhelmed on wave 3. What rubbish. It's absolutely the game's fault. But the frogs do get... the frogs are a little bit overwhelming. They definitely are. Because they do a lot of damage, first of all. And the wizard... currently the way he's balanced... I mean balanced, right? Nothing is balanced, let's be honest. But the way he is balanced right now... He's very slow. And he doesn't have very good attack speed. So those things together on when the frogs get a bit hairy, you know, they kind of get, yeah, you kind of get into trouble. I might have to increase the attack speed. You want to see that? Okay, let me show you what the wizard can be. Let's go and change some of the stats. Where the hell am I in my own code? Yeah. Okay, character scriptable objects, yeah. I just want to open it, man. Please like it. Okay, let's pretend we were able to get some massive level ups. So it's just the attack speed, yeah. So let's make the attack speed like 5 times more. And the movement speed, make it like 10. So now we're going to be a speedy wizard. Okay, and just to make this even more interesting. Okay, let's just disable the crocodile because he's completely broken still. Let's go to the camps. Not that I can find them ever. Seriously? You, where are you? Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm going to take the enemy camp. I'm going to make this enemies per 10 seconds, make it 5. So let's up the amount of enemies. Now we have a buff wizard. A speedy, fast shooty owl boy. It is a swamp. So the RNG is in my favor. And I made it 5 enemies per second. That times per 10 seconds, right? So let's see. This is going to be rough. But you can see I'm already faster. I want to see how quickly I shoot, though. Oh, they went inside the hut. Okay, maybe this is not fast enough. But you can see it's already quite a bit better than before. Bring it, frogs. I am not afraid. Yeah, no, this is way faster. Let's run around. Let's see. See how many frogs we can get spawned. Ah, these small lizards. I'm also thinking of just giving the wizard a second attack type. It's maybe easier to deal with the wizard after lizards. The problem with that is, though, that, you know, if you do that, then the wizard just instantly becomes the best character in the game, and you never play any of the other characters, because why would you even bother? Just like, this is scary. This is it's a bit rough. Nah, get off me. Get off. See, how many frogs have we got here? There's quite a few. Carpet bomb. Oh. Hey, there we go. Got rid of it. I think I'm gonna die. Yeah, no, I overdid it a bit. I should have cleared more totems sooner. This is still way too much. I'm still not strong enough. Yeah, and I think with the power-ups, these little guys they get faster, right? And then they're fast enough to come and hit me even while I'm running. And that's a bit of a problem. No. Oh no, they don't die one shot anymore. Ooh, okay. This was a mistake. Or at least the part where I was being cocky was a mistake. That's a lot of frogs. Yes, the bombs are not... They just don't end. Will I even get the second totem? This is now the question. I almost don't think I will. No. No, please. Let me get the second totem. I got it. Okay, just get out of there quickly. Because I need them to stop... you wonder what would happen if there was like 20 enemies. 20? What do you mean 20? 20 in total, or 20 different types of enemies? Like various kinds? Because I think there were more than 20 enemies, right? At least. I do actually keep track of the amount of enemies killed. But I think since I ended, it kind of got lost. Where do I keep track of this, you know? Here? Yeah. Here I do. So eventually what I want this to be is... so I want there to be a leaderboard maybe one day, right? So you can imagine... oh, you mean they spawn 20 at a time. Oh. Okay, or I change this this thing to 20 instead of 5. Let's make it 3 again. That was more balanced. But yeah, I can make it 20. You know what happens? This is kind of funny. Let's make it 20. This is pretty funny. I've had bugs before where the spawn time was 0 seconds, and then they just kind of flood the whole map instantly. But this is going to be quite hectic as well. We'll just not try and fight them, I think. Yeah, no, this is just dumb. That's already more than I can handle. Especially with the range on level 1. This is a level 1 ranger. She does enough damage, right? But like her attack speed is just terrible. I'm gonna run into the other swarm. This is a proper swarm. What you do need to be careful of when you're doing this type of thing is your frames. Right, these are a lot of entities that need to calculate their destinations and their collisions and all those things. And your frames per second will tank. Nope. No doubt about it, right? So at some point it's more important to make interesting enemies or multiple types of enemies or stronger enemies rather than just flooding the map, because flooding the map just tanks your frames. If it's above 60 I'm fine, but you'll notice that when I get into it a little bit it'll dip below 60, which is not ideal. Yeah, no, this is a bit rough. This is a bit rough. Hey, but it still works. Now 50 frames per second. Oh no, I ran into a tree. Almost died instantly. Get out of here. Are they already buff? Yeah, they were buffed. They don't die with one shot anymore. They're getting another buff. Wait, okay. 0 HP. That doesn't seem right. I think the logic is checking when I have less than 0. Hey, you can't hit me. I'm a speedy ranger. Oh. I've died. I died again. Okay, enough of that. It was fun, but, you know, it's not productive. 3 a second again. Back to the balanced version of the game. And we can also just make the wizard movement speed 7, attack speed 1. Righto. Let's get back to our new enemy, the Crocodile. The so-called boss enemy. Oh, why is my zoom not working? What the hell? Yeah, I want to add a lot of stuff, right? I think I'm almost at a point. I'm getting closer to a point where I could make a demo and release it as a demo for people to test and give feedback on. And for the demo, I don't think I really need more enemies or characters, right? It's just a demo. So the 3 characters and the 3 different enemies should be fine. And then from there, I would like to add way more characters. Right, you should be able to select, you know, between 20 different characters, not just 3. And the idea is you play as a party, right? So it's not going to be like other survival games where you have one character and that's your character. You select a party of characters. So you select 4 characters out of the 20 to go through this onslaught, and they, each character gives buffs and things like that to the other characters. So if you think about it, like the knight, you could have a stat for the knight where he passively increases all of the other characters' health as well. So having a high level knight means everybody is more tanky. And then you could say, okay, that's cool. The ranger perhaps could buff everybody's attack speed, let's say. I don't know. So if you choose to level your ranger aggressively, that means all your other characters now have higher attack speed, right? And the mage or the wizard could maybe be damage or something like that, right? Who knows? But that's the kind of thing I'm thinking of. So you can imagine, like, you could have 20 other characters or 20 different characters. Each of them have a unique effect. And, a unique effect buffing other characters. And they also have unique abilities or attack and stuff like that. Also gives it a lot of replayability. Because, you can do one run with the chicken, ranger, wizard, and barbarian. I don't know, whatever the fourth one is. And then your second run, you can be like, okay, I've learned some things. Let's try a whole different set of characters, right? I want the ninja, the ninja, the sorceress, which is maybe a little bit different from a mage, the samurai, and the the druid, right? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go and think about this. So there's a lot of replayability, I think, if you just do it like that already. It'll be good for multiplayer. I think so. Yeah, I do believe that is accurate. It would be good for multiplayer. The only problem is I don't know how to do multiplayer. So I don't know how to do it yet, let's say. I would like to learn how to do multiplayer. But I'm not doing this full time, unfortunately, so I'd have to dedicate quite a bit more time to this game if I wanted to get those types of features implemented, right? So maybe I could make an early access launch or something like that, where it's just single player and then the roadmap has multiplayer for the future, for instance. And if the game does well enough in early access already, I could maybe dedicate some more time, perhaps. It's difficult, right? Because at the end of the day, time is money. I have to do a job to get money. This is not a job. Not yet, anyway. Maybe it becomes one, right? But it's certainly not a job right now. But yeah, if I launch it in early access and I get like $1 million, that's wishful thinking. But let's imagine, right? That I can quit my job and just do this instead. Get the multiplayer functionality working. Okay. Let's go here. Okay, so we got a few things working here. We don't have an attack trigger necessarily. I can add it. I should add it, right? Let's just go to the anime. These icons that look the same. So I could just add a trigger and call it attack. Hello. Attack. There we go. Okay, we'll see if this is useful, but it was useful for some of the other characters. So let's just put it in there. Goody. Okay, so now we just need to make the state machine work. And this is still a lot of code, right? This is not going to happen in 2 seconds. Okay, but we've set up the states at least. And we have an event for state change, right? So we could do a public set state. right? And we insert a state. Okay. Or let's just call it the new state. New state. Okay, and then, no, not set state graph. What the hell? Public. Okay, this is public void. Sorry, I'm not. Public void set state, and we get a state. Yeah, that should work. Okay, let's see. So we just do state equals new state, right? Not capital state, just small state. Oh wait, I don't have a small state yet. Okay. So we should do a private state. Call it state. Okay, there we go. So it's a type of state and its name is state, and we set the state to new state. Okay, so this is the state that we're tracking. And when we do this, so whenever we set the state, we should also invoke onStateChange. onStateChange dot invoke this, and we want a new on state change event arguments, put in the new state, right? Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so we invoke this and we put in the state. So that means our animator now gets the signal, right? And it checks, okay, what state did we go to? Did we go to idle, running, attack, or dead? And then it sets these triggers, right? Or these parameters based on what we got. Okay, that's fine. So what we can do now is just go set those transitions, right? Okay, so I don't think we need to worry about those ones necessarily. Okay, so we're gonna have, so this guy, I want him to do a few things, right? He needs to be more animated, feel more alive. So that's why I have a sheathed, weapon unsheathed into idle, right? I don't just want him to start off in idle state, for instance. Well, he can just start off in idle, but you know what I mean. Okay, but let's go. Am I still in debug mode? Yes, I am. Okay. Okay, so when he enters, he can just go straight into idle. That's fine. I don't worry about that. I could have this transition. Yeah, let's make it is idle true. Okay, so then at least he'll only go in idle if he can go in idle. And we can have a condition here is idle true, and we can add the condition here as well. Fortunately, the idle conditions are easy. They just kind of do themselves. Okay, now movement. This one's a bit interesting, right? Because we don't necessarily, we have a is running, which is fine. But within movement, we should also distinguish between I don't remember making this thing. Anyway, within movement, we should always also distinguish between, okay, are we actually running? Or are we dashing? Or are we walking? Right? So this is now where it gets a bit interesting. So the state tree inside of our animator is more complicated than our actual state machine. So we need to add way more states. Okay, for now, I'm just not going to worry about walking and running. And dashing, right? I just want him to run. So we can just do is running true, right? So just the basic ones to get this going, right? So we can do all of these as is running true. Okay, so he goes from dashing to running. He goes from walking to running, and he goes from nothing to running. Okay, and then he can go out of the running animation, no problem. Okay, so how do we go into the moving animation? So right now, like I said, let's just say go into movement if you are running. Okay, so if you are running, you're going into movement, and walking is the preferred, but he's gonna go to running every time, right? Because is running is gonna be true, so that's fine. Don't need to worry about that. Okay. So that's going into movement from idle. So movement from attack, we should just do the same thing. So just do is running is equal to true. He goes into attack. Okay. Now from movement to attack, we obviously, okay, we set the state to attacking. So I think that's going to be the main way of doing this. So is attacking true? So if we are attacking, you go into the attack. And right here we do is attacking true. Okay, so these two go into attack, that's fine. Okay, and then within attack. Okay, so this one gets a bit more interesting. So we go into attack 1 by default, that's fine. That makes sense. Now, let's see. So if we want to go to attack 2, we should go according to our attack number. Right, so something like, now I'm not sure exactly, but we could say is attacking should still be true, and our attack number should be equal to attack number 2. Right, so that's how we get into attack 2. And then over here, we should still be attacking, and our attack number should be 3. Not greater than 3 equals 3, right? So if you think about this, what will happen is it'll come in, do attack 1 automatically, then it asks, okay, can I do attack 2? Okay, first of all, are we still attacking? Yes, fantastic. Is it attack number 2 time? Yes, go attack 2. After attack 2, it asks the same question. So basically what that means is after each of these, there should also be a way of exiting. So we basically say that, look, if attacking is false, we exit. Now this might bug up, this might be a little bit buggy. There's always a little bug somewhere. So I might have to come back here and fix this. But I'm thinking, you know, this should work. But it is possible, for instance, that attack is still true, but it messed up the attack number. So then we're stuck in attack 1 because we can't exit attack 1 because is attacking is still true. And we also can't proceed because the attack number is not 2. Yeah, so that could be an issue. So maybe we don't have a condition. So it'll come here and it'll ask, look, is this true? Yes, okay, go that way. If we can't go that way, then we'll try this instead. Okay. I don't know if we can prioritize these at all. I've never tried something like that. I don't think there's a setting like that. So let's see what that looks like. Okay. So that's what that looked like in this one. Oh, I didn't change this animation. Okay, let's see. Up. Okay, now if we come in here. Okay, so this would be is attacking true, and attack number is already 2. Okay, I'm dubious about these ones. This is going to be a bit of a thing. Okay, they might not work at all. Yeah, they might not work at all. Okay, we could also have attack 2 solos also transition to attack 3 potentially. So it's like a half half chain, right? So we skip attack 1 for some reason. We go straight into attack 2 to attack 3. Let's do that. I have an idea how this could work. So we have the same is attacking and attack number is equal to 3, right? So is attacking and attack number equals 3. Right, so I have a vague idea how this could work, right? So and this should be is attacking as well, true. I have a way that I think this is going to work. Now, it might not. They might just come in here and straight out because these things are not working the way they should. Okay, but we should at least potentially have him do attack 1 for now, right? Because we haven't done the attack number thing yet. But he should just be able to do attack 1 at least. Okay. Okay, we're not worried about dead yet. Well, we could add it, that, right? So it's is dead true, then die, right? Go do your death animation thing. Is dead true, and finally is dead true. So if it's dead and it exits one of these, it'll go down there instead. Okay, so now we set that up. Okay, so that means at least that our code should now be able to set these states, and it should work. So let's see. Let's just go through this. So when the state machine changes, right? So we still need to make the state machine do changes. But theoretically, if the state machine does a thing, so if it goes into idle, it'll set the animator state to idle. So that's good. And it'll also set the others to false, right? So we can't have one of them true at the same time. So it's the same with, okay, over here, attack, we might have a problem. So is attacking should be true. And we have some leftover code here from the... Okay, let's just take that out. We can figure that out later. We should also just, in case, have is dead in all of these and make it false. Right, just in case. Wait, maybe not, because it's false by default, right? We set it true at the end. Okay, attack cooldowns false, I guess that's okay for now. So let's see. So all of these seem to be fine. Now we just need a way for him to go from idle to running, for instance. Okay, because he will start in idle. And now he'll actually stay in idle. So he'll do his little take his hammer out animation. So let's just go look at that. Okay, so let's put him in view of our characters because he's gonna do his idle animation immediately. Okay, so put him over there. Wait, why are you in the air? Okay. So we put him down there and let's... No, not rotate that way. Let's just rotate him this way. Okay, so when we start, he should go from his idle sheathed to unsheathed to idle animation straight away, right? So that should just happen. And then he should stay in his idle animation because he doesn't have the logic to switch states, right? Yet. So let's just see if that works, because previously he would go into attack animation straight away automatically, which was kind of weird. Okay, so if we... No, okay, we'll do the attack trigger zone. Yeah, there we go. So you can see he started in idle, then he took out his hammer, and now he's idling. And if we do this, we click on the crocodile, go to its animator. Oh, actually, it's not even idling. Right. Let's just put this over here. Yeah, it's actually just at the end of the weapon unsheath animation. Because idle is not set to true at all. Okay, but that's fine. That's exactly what I want to have happen. Okay. So let's go into the manager and... No, not the manager necessarily. Well, the manager kind of, right? But the manager should have references to the state machine. So let's do CBE underscore state machine. And let's just call this state machine. My naming convention is all over the place. Like, this makes sense to me now because I'm inside the Crocodile boss enemy manager. So the state machine can just be called the state machine while I'm in here. But in other places, I call this the CBE state machine again. And I can do this. Oh my word, this is hard. Right, I do this. I have no idea which is, like, what is good and what is bad. I know it's bad to be inconsistent, at least, and I'm currently very inconsistent. Okay, but let's just do state machine for now. Okay, what else do we need references to? Do we need the animator? We need the movement, I think. CBE movement. Yeah, you see now this would just be bad if I call it movement, right? Do I have any ideas of when or where I want to release the game? So, I think the best idea would probably be Steam, at least for where. So I should create a Steam page and launch the demo on Steam itself, right? To gain some wish lists and traction and stuff like that, right? I could also launch it on itch.io if I wanted, I guess. But yeah, I think Steam would probably be a good idea. When? So that's a problem. I don't even know what the game's name is yet. I just call it Chicken Night 3D. And that's because the first Chicken Night I made was 2D. So yeah, so I started fooling around with the 2D game. You can actually play it. I think the link is below in the Twitch panels. You can go try it out. Well, we didn't have any of our own art for that one. I just got art from Pixel Frog, I think is he has a free art pack on itch.io that I used. Yeah, but I mean that's where it started, and then I moved to 3D, so I just called it 3D from there. Chicken Knight was just like, I don't know, that's the first character I thought of, right? I thought of a Chicken Knight, and then it was like, cool, we're gonna have a Chicken Knight now. So you see now, this is already bad. CBE movement, yeah. Let's just go back to our naming convention. CBE state machine. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have the movement and we have the state machine. What else do we need to add here? The animator, could we manage it from here? Potentially we could. So I'm thinking of a situation where, you know, we're not actually changing state. For instance, the state of the crocodile is still attacking. I didn't even answer your question of when. So first of all, I need to figure out what the game's name is. Then I maybe should create a studio. I can't just call it Ruan's Studio. I guess I can. I just publish it as myself, but that feels kind of weird. I want a name. And then I can create a Steam page. Honestly, I've been progressing very quickly in the game. So I thought originally like this would only happen at the end of the year. But it seems like I'm getting a lot done much faster than I thought it would be possible. So maybe, maybe in like 3 months I could already consider making the demo live or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I do believe that there's going to be a lot of polish and balancing that needs to happen at some point. From what I've heard, is that polish can take a while, right? It's that last, like everything works, and now you just need to make it look or feel nicer, and that takes forever. But we'll see. Maybe I just don't polish it, just launch the demo as is. Be like, enjoy. I'm not doing anything more on this. Let's put the animator in. Because what I'm thinking is sometimes I'm not going to change my state necessarily. We're still in the attack state, for instance, but we might change the attack number. So I don't know where that's going to happen. So if we change the attack number, we might change it from here, like from the manager itself. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So we need references to these things at least, right? And now what we can do at least, for instance, is we can do at start. So we could do the start function. And we can say at start the CBE state machine dot set state we can do a CBE state machine dot state dot idle, right? Idle. So we just set it to the idle state at start. So we do actually change the state at start, and that should work to get it into the actual idle thing, right? So we have the set state, and it invokes this, which goes to the animator, and it comes here, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, we can make this boolean true, so it'll actually go all the way into the idle state. Right, so the manager does that. Now, none of the stuff's connected to anything, so let's go to our crocodile enemy. Okay, let's open you up. And let's add these scripts. So we want the CBE manager, right? We also want the CBE state machine. Okay, so this thing wants a reference to that. It wants a reference to that. And then it wants a reference to the animator. Could I do that? No. So the animator... Oh, wait, I haven't attached the animator yet. Okay, and then this thing goes in there. The state machine goes in there. So it figures it out. Okay, and then this dark goes in there, and it will get the animator. That seems to be working fine. Yeah. All the scripts are plugged in and ready to go. So we have movement manager state machine there, and this guy has animator. So this is just doing the actual animators. This is doing this. Then we want this one right here, and unfortunately, yeah, we don't have this here. So let's just go in here. This attack trigger zone thing. I actually don't even know why we need it. I think it's because, yeah, we get a component attack trigger zone. So let's just do this. Yeah, where do we use this? Yeah, we don't actually use this at all. I have this here for a reason. I just can't remember. I think it's because I copied this from one of the other characters, right? That's probably the problem. Okay, but now if I go back, this guy, let's just see. Let's revert overrides, I think. Let's just see if this works still. So these are still here. And this is still here. Yeah, so it should work. Yeah, I think I was editing it in the... not in the actual prefab editor. Okay, so all I really want to see is if the states switch and if we go into the idle state. Let's see. So idle sheath goes, takes out his weapon, and now he's idling, and that should loop. Yeah, and it totally loops. Okay, so now we can start giving him the required logic to start attacking me. But first, let's play the game because it's so fun. What? Threaded that needle. Okay, he's also very slow right now. I have this problem happening. You can see he kind of gets a bit hung up on something. I don't know how that... What does that? Oh wait, the arrows actually collide with him? I think the arrows are colliding with him, actually. Wait, what's happening here? Why do I have two... Oh, okay. Yeah, let's switch off the gizmos. Ha! Look at that. He got an arrow stuck in his weapon. Yeah, this guy looks scary. I like the crocodile. I mean, these guys look quite menacing as well. Yeah, what is this line of something here? Smoke or something? Oh, it's an explosion. It's probably the smoke effect that's just floating in the... Yeah, okay. It looks weird when you're looking at it from this angle, right? But this is not how we are looking at it in the game normally. Let's go look at one of the... Look at these guys. Yo. Okay. Cool. So we are getting it to work little by little. So the next thing we want to attach here is just an empty, and I call this the attack trigger area. Okay. So pretty much the area within where the crocodile would actually try and hit you. Right, so if we think about this, we should see something like this. Okay, let's look at attack 1. We're like, okay, so he kind of, you know, he's attacking in this vicinity. Okay, so if we lock this now, that could mean that the attack trigger should happen here somewhere, right? So when anything gets with like into this area, he should swing. So that's about 5 units away, right? Okay, but let's just check the rest of the attacks and see if that's consistent. Okay, so this one, I mean, it's still fine for the trigger. The trigger is going to be a sphere, right? It's not just a point. So that should still work. And then attack 3. Okay, I need to fix this one to look like the solo one. Yeah, because I'm not a fan of the way. Can't even remember what I fixed on the other one. Could I copy all these? Nah, I need to go fix it frame by frame. Ah, it's bad. How do we... Could we... No, there's no copy. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Yeah, because the other one's way better now. He gives a step forward and he like swings. I mean, this is a massive trigger area. Well, not a trigger area necessarily. Like, if he swings all the way to there... Just lock this quickly. Yeah, it's locked. And our trigger area was here. Right, he steps into you quite a bit. It's going to be difficult to do these attacks. Unless we have different trigger areas for each attack. Right, we can call this attack 1. Trigger area, for instance. And then if we just look at attack 1, right, that is fine. Then attack 2, might want to move it a bit up, so let's duplicate this. And we call this attack 2 trigger area. 2. Now, I'm not sold that this is the way I'm going to do this, but anyway, we move this one forward. I also don't know if it's in the right plane, but let's just assume it is. And then attack 3. Yeah, that's quite a range there. Okay, so we do attack 3 trigger area. Yeah, maybe I don't even do... The thing is, he's gonna get triggered. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I have a bit of a challenge ahead of me, right? So I'm thinking that, you know, if the attack 3 trigger area, right, is out there, for instance, it's always going to trigger first because it's the furthest out, right? So that one will always hit the character first before any of the others do, right? Unless we also have cooldowns associated with these. So, you know, like the attack 1 could have a shorter cooldown than attack 2, for instance. So in that case, he wouldn't always do trigger 1. He might just do trigger 2 because trigger 1 is currently on cooldown. Same with trigger 3, you could have a very long cooldown. So he only uses that in some situations, right? So when he's chasing you, he gets into range. This one happens to be off cooldown. He just goes for it, right? Yeah. Something like that. Okay. So these can be the trigger areas. We should also have an AoE area, right? So if you look at the chicken, for instance, right? So if we just go back to the chicken quickly. So the chicken also has a attack trigger zone. So if you just switch on these again. It's this bubble over here. So anything moves into this bubble, he attacks. Now the thing is, his attacks are kind of easy, right? They all land within this area, more or less. Maybe not exactly, but right, more or less. Okay. Which meant I could just use the trigger itself, so when he attempts an attack, as the area to calculate whether or not something gets damaged. For the crocodile, however, his attack patterns are quite interesting. So if he does attack 1, for instance, right, and we just look at this. So I keep having to lock this. Okay, so we have that area there. So if he does attack 1, right, you could see how you could have the damage zone somewhere here, right? So he swings and you get damaged, right? Very straightforwardly. Okay, attack 2, he takes a step forward. So you could maybe have this one make like a shockwave or some kind of small explosion, right? And you can give it a bit of AoE, like the damage area might be like this big. So even though he triggers, the trigger and the damage area could actually be in the same place with this one. That's kind of nice. And then finally, this one triggers all the way over there, but the actual applied damage might be quite a bit different. Right, because if you think about the way this one looks, even though it triggered there, he then does a sweeping attack, right? So I might have to do damage all around. Right, he damages everything around him. That's kind of crazy. And I spilled coffee. Yeah, so this could be quite interesting. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to add, so these are the trigger areas. So let's add damage areas as well. They might be in a different location than the trigger. But they'll still be, okay, so we can make them children of the trigger area, or we could just make them so I'm not a fan of this happening, right? Yeah, this I'm not a fan of. So what he's currently doing is he's moving out. So this crocodile's moving its position, but this crocodile still has its hitbox and all that stuff over there. So that's why, you know, this is a better attack, because if you look at it, right, he's still in his original position. He's still in his original position. I think even this one, yeah, he doesn't move. This one, however, he moves forward. So I need to move I don't even know what thing that is here. So let's see. So now he's over there, right? So it's one of these keys. Which one is it? It's probably not the chest stuff. Could it be the feet, right? Left foot. So if I change this, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. Yeah, no, that doesn't seem like it. So that's Q. I don't know what Q. Oh, maybe that's like the quaternion, so it's the rotation. This is the transform. So this might be the one that causes the whole thing to move forward. So that's the right foot. So the left foot currently is still at its original position, and there it goes. Oh wait. Crocodile motion transform. Is it this one? Doesn't seem to be this one. Let's look at the transform for the right foot. I mean, it's moving. Yeah, so I want to see this one, the Z position. It's moving quite a bit, right? So that's the one I'm looking for. Because this Z doesn't seem to be moving that much. 0.3, yeah, no, this thing's going to like 6. So in this animation, we are moving the whole thing. So that would be one of the root bones, I guess. Yeah, actually, let's see what the root bone is called. Croc armature. That's the base one, right? If you move that one, everything moves. So let's see if we can just find something called armature. I cannot. So how is this moving? Hi. Let's go check the animations that I got for this guy. Maybe I should see if there's an animation that already removes this. So there is one. This one is not moving. Right, so if you look at this, he does the attack, but he stands still and he spins. That's actually way better. Yeah, that's actually way better. Let's copy that one. Let's go to animations. Paste it here. Okay, so attack 3. Wait, is this one moving? Oh no, this one's not moving. Oh, this is the one that's not moving. Okay, wait, let's get rid of this. We don't need that then. So just the normal attack 3. Not the solo one. Yeah, that's not so bad. Maybe we go with that one then. We just need to fix it so he doesn't do his... Yeah, he's swinging too high. Okay, that's fine. So let's see, where does the swing start again? So that's okay. So somewhere there, we want to start. Okay, so we just want to lower the right hand, or the right arm. So right arm up, down, I think, could do it for us. Yeah, so that works. I think front, back also helps. Yeah, so front, back, up, down. Okay, so we do that, and then the next keyframe, we need to move it down again, maybe like that. Next one, okay, that's way up again. Let's move this down a little. Let's move this over a little. We could always also move the shoulder. Yeah, we don't want to make it. Yeah, we can move it back a little bit. So his other hand's not connected anymore, but that's okay. I say that's okay. I say that's okay, and it's my game. Okay, no, that one doesn't help. Front, back, that does help. Oh no, I don't want to turn the head. Okay, something like that. And then this is way too high again. So let's just go down. Okay, we can make this one go down. Okay, let's see. Let's see you do your swing. Okay, so if you pay attention to the arms, obviously it's gonna look weird. But we'll just not pay attention to the arms. Right, he's gonna swing it this fast. You can't see what the arms are doing. Right. Okay. So I'll just use that one then. Instead. Okay, cool. So, no, what am I doing? Okay, so if we go here, we go into the animator. Let's just move it over here. Okay, so we go into attack. So this one, we might want to make this the normal attack as well. Okay, attack 3, and we can also rename this. Well, we can keep the name, attack 3. Solo, I guess. So attack 1, 2, 3, so they're all fixed. Okay, cool. So our animations look nice now. Oh, you're trying... Okay, I don't know when this message was sent. How long ago did you send this message? But I'm seeing it now. You tried the 2D version? Yeah, it's pretty cool. The biggest problem with that one is the performance, right? It gets a bit laggy as the amount of enemies increase. That was my biggest issue with that game. I mean, it works kind of nice, but the performance was very terrible. Like, you can see I put a frame counter into the game because I was continuously trying to get the frames to be higher. It was kind of one of the reasons why I moved to Unity. Because Unity's seems to handle physics calculations and stuff like that a little bit better. Just the engine itself, I'm not sure. Like, I don't really understand how it's that much better or worse, you know. But the other game was in Godot, so, you know. So I figured let's give it a try. I tried it. It does seem to be a lot better, so I'm sticking with it. And then also we moved to 3D instead, and 3D and Unity just work together very well. So much better than Godot and 3D does. Yeah, it is kind of funny. It's funny when it lags. It's a fun little game. I actually tried recreating it in Unity. I could have. It's not like I couldn't do it. But I just kind of gave up because I moved to the new project. So I got that one like, 60% of the way to where it was. And I was already convinced that the performance was going to be better because I was already able to just spawn a lot of enemies, for instance, and have them collide with stuff. So I could see, look, it's not even stuttering, whereas the Godot version would stutter a lot. But then we started our 3D venture, so now we're doing it 3D instead. Okay, but we fixed the animations for the crocodile. I'm not even sure why the hell I got into this. This is now... Oh yes, I made the trigger zones. That's right. I was doing the attack areas and triggers and stuff like that. Yeah, that's cool. That's good. Okay, so I'm thinking that the trigger area can be wherever it wants to be. So this trigger, we should move now, right? Because we've changed this attack animation. So yeah, he doesn't reach there anymore because he doesn't move. So, okay, so he goes up to like here. Right. We could act. You know what? I think this trigger area could just be at 0, 0. And then I make a big sphere. And anything that comes close to the crocodile, well, not anything, any enemy, well, any one of my characters, when they come close and this attack is off cooldown, he could just do a spin. Right, so even if I come from behind and he knows I'm behind him, he can be like, whoa. Yeah, I like that. I think that would be kind of cool. So he can take out anybody. Yeah. So the trigger area is actually going to be right there. And this one can be there, that's fine. And this one can be there, that's fine. So the other two, they need to be in front. This one, he can kind of do it all over. Okay. So now I just need the various trigger scripts. Well, let's add a component and let's just call it Crocodile boss enemy attack 1 script. So it's basically gonna just manage everything for the first attack. So it's gonna keep track of. So yeah, here's basically what it needs to keep track of. It needs to keep track of whether or not something entered the area. Vice Gaming TV, thank you so much for the follow. I do appreciate that. So it needs to keep track of whether or not an enemy entered the zone that it triggers. So it needs to keep track of that. It needs to keep track of the cooldown. And then it needs to keep track of some other thing. Right, whatever. The cooldown and maybe damage, right? It needs to do the damage as well. So it can do damage. So the attack areas do damage to the characters. Yeah. So CBE attack 1. Now, it's possible that a lot of this... now I want these separate. I just want them separate. I don't know. I might not be clever enough to do this the right way. So I'm just going to do it the way I understand it. And if they are separate, I think I'm going to be... It's going to be easier. Been watching me for an hour? You're working on your own game. Oh, that's cool. Thank you so much for the follow, eh? Have a good evening. It's currently 6:38 in the morning for me. So I still have a whole day ahead of me. Not going to bed right now. But yeah, have a good evening and enjoy, and hopefully I can see you tomorrow in chat. But it's fine if you don't chat. You're working on your own game, right? I would prefer it if you just lurk and make your own game happen. Actually, are you streaming as well? Zelda, like, you used to stream. Oh, what happened? I mean, a lot of things can happen, right? Streaming is... It's a whole thing. Literally, your schedule can just change a little bit and then it's up in the air. Too time consuming, yeah. I get that. As long as your game is still making progress, even when you don't stream the progress, that's fine. Right? It's about the game in the end. It's not like we're trying to become internet celebrities here, right? Helps learning. Yeah, you shouldn't learn from me, though. I'm still quite a noob at this. I might teach you some of the wrong ways to do something. You see, I opened the script. I don't know why I did that now. Oh, no, I didn't open anything. I was creating scripts, and it just opens Visual Studio by itself. Okay, and this could be attack 3. And we just create a new script, create and add. Okay, so to keep it simple, we'll just make the first attack script work for now, right? So let's see, what do we need? No, man, just open the script, thank you. Okay, so we need a couple of things. So the first thing we're gonna need is an update function. I might these might have to be fixed update, to be honest. And from this, I'm going to do a public, no, not a public, private, void, oh my jeez, public void attack trigger. Right, so there's a attack that can be triggered, and the update function runs that, right? Or it checks, I don't know if that's the right check for attack trigger, so but it runs it every frame. It's probably a bad idea. I might have to do fixed update here eventually. But that should be easy to change it. You know, I say that, but I'm doing this over and over again. Like, I have 10 different scripts that do something on update, which might be better on fixed update. Because I add physics checks or ray casts or whatever. And one day I'm going to sit here and be like, my performance is kind of bad. Maybe I should go fix all of them to be fixed update instead. And then, that's pretty tedious, right? Whoopsie. Okay, so what we can do here is we can have a... let's see, we can make it a transform. Well, okay, let's think about this. Transform. Right. Transform. We'll call this layer character. Okay, equals. So let's think about this. Let's call it... No. This should be a boolean. Boolean player character in trigger zone. That's a massive boolean. But it's fine. At least I know what it does now. And then we do a physics dot check sphere. And then I completely forget how. Okay, position. This would just be transform dot position, right? So we just use the position of where we are at, and a radius. IF attack 1 radius. Okay. And what we can do here is just add a serialized field. Float. Attack. Private float, not just float. Private. Float. Attack 1 radius. Something like this, right? Private float, attack 1 radius, attack 1 radius. So now I can go and fiddle with this. Because I'm going to have to fiddle with this, right? And what else do we need here? We should have a layer mask. Yeah. So player. Wow. Player. Wow. This is so odd. Layer. Okay. No, that's fine. And what we can do here is we can make a layer mask. Mask, call it, not mask, layer. Okay. And then just at start, we can do player layer is equal to, nope. Layer mask dot get mask, and the mask we want is player, right? I think that's the name of the mask. Okay, and now it should only trigger when the player enters into the attack trigger zone. Okay, so the attack radius. Okay, so it doesn't have. Let's just make it equal to 1F by default. If I forget to add that. Okay, so now what we can do is we can just do an if player in attack trigger zone. We can do a debug.log. Just print something. So say, help. The player is bullying me. Okay, so technically this should work already. Now, what I also want to do is add a gizmo. So I just, because you need to physically draw a gizmo to be able to see the gizmo. This doesn't work. So what I typically do is something like this. Let me show you in something, I can't remember who does this. The knight attack trigger does this, right? Yeah, I just have a gizmo like this, which I copy everywhere. Okay, on draw gizmos and color. Let's make this green. Okay, so we'll have a green gizmo. Transform.position, and it needs to be the size of... that is the correct radius. Yeah. Radius, yeah, both of them get a radius. Okay, cool. So now at least we'll have a sphere in the world that we can physically see if gizmos are enabled, right? So let's just save and go here. There we go. So that's our sphere. So we can now ask ourselves, look, is that good enough? So what we can do, let's go to our crocodile. Lock. Okay, it is locked. Go attack one, and we're like, okay, cool. Let's see. He attacks. Yeah, he can hit more stuff than just that little area. So what we can do, first of all, we can just make the radius bigger, right? We can be like, okay, everything. And we can move it up a little bit if we wanted. So we make make it a bit smaller. Let's make it like there. Yeah. Something like that. So everything in this area will get damaged. Now, what you can do just to make it feel a bit more consistent. Well, it's not necessarily needed with the enemy. So consistency with how damage is dealt can be a problem for the character, right? You might think you hit something, but you didn't. With the enemy, it might feel good if you think he hit you, but he didn't, right? He missed or something. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Now. Okay. So what we can do now is over here. So we could have an event and then have the manager, for instance, listen to the event, the attack happened event. You could also have the state machine listen to the event and then change the state to attack state. Okay, so both of those are potentially valid. Either way, the state needs to be changed, right? At some point. So it says this is a public. The state will be changed here, but I think the manager should be like the middleman. So I don't want the attack to directly interact with the state machine. I just want the attack to interact with the manager, and then the manager triggers the state change. Oh, well, tells the state machine trigger the state change. And then the state machine triggers this. Okay. The manager could also work with the animator directly if he wanted. Okay, so we could do this with serialized fields, which I kind of like. I kind of like doing that instead of. Right, so I could go here. It does the update, and then it will trigger. And then once it triggers, actually I don't need to do this anymore. But anyway, once it triggers, it could just no, it should send it should send a event. Yes. Okay. So let's just make the event quickly. Public event handler. Let's just say on attack 1. Right, we don't need any arguments or anything from that thing right now. We can do on attack 1 dot invoke this new event args dot empty. I think that's the way you do it. Maybe it's like this, or just event args dot empty, capital empty. Right, so we don't actually pass anything in terms of arguments, but it is the attack 1 trigger, which means your manager should know what's up. Right, so we could have here serialized field, and we can call this the okay, this is the CBE attack 1. Okay, and we just call it CBE attack 1. Is that what I called the script? Yeah. It is. Okay, and then we can do at start, we can do CBE attack 1 dot on. No, not that. Not like that. Attack 1 dot on attack 1. Plus equal. Okay. That's fine. That's good enough. So when this happens, we go to our state machine. So we see CBE state machine dot set state, and we set it to state dot attacking. Okay. Now we should also set the attack number, but it should default to attack 1, which is the one we're working with, if we are not setting an attack number, right? Okay, so this should work, technically. So this thing triggers, it says this in the console, and then it does that stuff. And everything is listening and connected the way they should be. No, not everything is listening or connected, actually. So this thing needs a reference to our attack. So we just drag it in there. There we go. Now it's referenced. I think I also... So let's just go back here. Since we're testing the boss... I think I'm just gonna switch off the camps a little bit, right? So they'll spawn like 0.1 enemies. I just don't want to be swarmed every time I test something on the boss, right? So let's have a go. No funny business here. So let's see what he does. Help! The Polier is... Okay, he's stuck somewhere in his animator, right? So let's go see where he got stuck. Okay, Crocodile enemy, where are you? Oh, wait a minute. Did he never get to the... Yeah, he never got into idle state. Okay, I think I know why. So, yeah, so there's an exit time for these. So it takes a while before he gets from idle to unsheathed to idle. And I think what happened is we switched to the attacking state before he got into idle. And there's no way of getting through those, right? He needs to get to idle first. So what I could do... So let's just keep an eye on this. I just need to run away immediately so that he can get all the way, take his weapon out, get into the idle state. Now that he's in the idle state, if I move close, oh, interesting. Okay, we have a couple of problems here. So the entry goes into idle sheathed, but it should also be able to do that. That is kind of interesting. So is that a problem here? So it exits. So when it exits, it goes into entry. Doesn't make any sense. Well, no, it kind of does make sense. So it should also be able to do this as well. Okay, let's just see this in action. Okay, we just stay away. He takes out his thing. There's now a null reference exception. I trigger the attack. He attacks. He goes into idle sheath again. Oh, because he's still in attacking, right? Yeah, that's true. Ha. So maybe for now we should make this the default state. I think. Okay, gonna have to mess with this a bit more. For now, though, I think I'm gonna end the stream there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I do appreciate you. But I got enough work done for a Sunday. I think 3.5 hours. That seems pretty good. So I'm gonna head off, do some other Sunday-related activities. Let's see if there's somebody we can raid. Cool, Mr. Gene. Yeah, no, go watch the YouTubes if you want to. I post some things there. It's a lot of work to keep all of these things going, right? But yeah, go join. You can chat during the day or whenever. We also share the artwork and stuff like that while they are still a work in progress. Like the crocodile, the owl. We were doing that on Discord. You know, just showing it off a little bit while we're working on it. So you can get a bit of a sneak preview. Let's see if there's anybody worth raiding today. I don't know any of these people. Okay, let's see. People I'm following, maybe? Hey, Dianora is still online. Okay, we'll go raid him. He's raided me quite a few times before. He might be thinking of raiding me today. But I cannot stream that long today, unfortunately. Okay, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I got some work done, which is nice. So let me send you off to Dianora. Let's see. There's a couple of us. There's at least 2 of us. There we go. Let's go say hello. See how he's doing. He's doing some interesting stuff. Anyway, cheers, guys. See you next time.